everybody. Welcome to today's Coffee Lounge Talk. So this is my coffee cup today. Choose to shine. Choose to shine. So if you're new here, this Sunday videos, every Sunday at 10 a.m., I share a Bible verse and how I connect with it in my life stories. And today I'm going to share a story with you guys. And then I also ask you to comment how these Bible verses connect with your life stories. And all faith welcome. I used to be a Hindu, and through some unexplainable life events, I became Christian last year. And the journey has been amazing. The peace that I found, I'm not saying that you can't find in other religion or other faith. If your path is meant to lead it to this way, it will. God has timing. God meets everybody where they are. And if somebody told me even a couple of years ago this will be my journey, I would not believe them. So that's why we have to surrender, and we have to just go with God's guidance, right? So wherever you are, if you want to join in and see how these timeless stories from Bible connect with you, you might find something that is exciting, that is interesting. That's what I try to do, because I'm not an expert. I started reading Bible only last year, so I'm very new. I don't pretend to be an expert at all. So I just try to understand more and more from this, and through this I know that I'm able to deepen my faith. So that's why I ask all of you, whichever way you can, try to deepen your faith, because when your faith grows in God, your faith, your confidence in yourself grows. I know that from my lived experience, and that's why I'm so passionate about sharing this. Now, if faith is not something that is resonating with you right now where you are in your journey, I also share similar type of things from my life experience, because if you're new here, 2 years ago I lost my job and 21 years of corporate executive career and my marriage in the same month. So from there I have reinvented myself, and through different platforms, events, media, etc., books, I help other people to reinvent themselves after divorce. So Wednesday night, it's I don't include the faith there, but I just share regular reinvention tips. So if you're interested, you can watch those, and also there are daily 12 p.m. short videos. I wanted to show you guys something here. Look at this coffee, and the full form of coffee is Christ offers forgiveness for everyone, everywhere, right? So I bought this several months ago, I think earlier this year. I saw it online, and then I was like, this would be like the perfect backdrop for my coffee lounge talk. I don't know, the camera is not going to cover the whole thing, but how about, I don't know, I just wanted to cover the bottom part. Doesn't it look so good, like with the coffee and the Bible? I don't know how to put that at some point. Here, I don't know, can you guys see it? Oh my God, I have to find a better spot for it. It kind of looks funny, doesn't it? Oh my God, you guys know I don't kind of, this is good, isn't it? Hopefully it doesn't fall when I'm trying to read it. The sunlight is hitting. Okay, we're just gonna keep it there for now. Because you can see the coffee cup. Go grab your coffee or tea, whatever you drink. Oh, this is perfect, isn't it? I just have to do something with the sun, maybe. But yeah, perfect. Now the sun is gone. If you guys still have the patience, and if you're still here around, so we are going to get into the actual verse thing, and you'll see how I tend to do it. And if you guys have ideas and things like that, please do share. It is all about this community type of thing, and I am planning to do this one, some of them, like maybe once a month, once in a couple months in 2026. This will be a free event as part of my meetup community, where I have the midlife reinvention community, where we do a bunch of different type of fun events where people who are reinventing their life after divorce or other kind of major setback, right? Life is short. There is no point living in shame and guilt. And especially after divorce, because I lived through that journey, I know how much shame and guilt people are living with. And a lot of people live that journey for years and years. You know, we don't have endless time on earth, and that is why I really feel that it is my calling from God to help other people, because He has shown me that life can be beautiful, life can be peaceful, even after all those painful memories that we have. And we don't have to, sorry, I'm still fixing the camera and stuff. And we don't have to carry it all by ourselves, right? We can surrender to God, and we can see, like now I can see how all of those life experiences have shaped me in a way that nothing was in vain. You know, all of those experiences, starting from my other startup side hustle to everything that I learned through my 21 years of corporate career, all of this in, you know, coming in handy with what I'm doing now. And so now looking back, I know that God has brought me through this journey so that I'm ready and I'm able to do what I do now. So today's verse, without further ado, if you're still hanging on around, you guys know I like to talk. So hopefully I can meet with all of you in person sometime. So keep looking out for those. I'm going to be creating this Coffee Lounge Talk as an in-person meetup event, and those are going to be fully free, because you know that the other ones where I provide food, and the Coffee Lounge one I'll try to bring free coffee too. And so, you know, because for the logistics and the expenses, I do have to charge a little bit, facilities rent, etc. But these ones I'm going to try to keep it free. So today's verse, Hebrews 11:1. Hebrews 11:1. So you guys know I try to read first from the KJV, and it sometimes makes me feel like my teeth are getting pulled out, but it is because it doesn't have any copyright, so I can use it on my YouTube. And then I also share the web version, which is World English Bible. These are the only two that doesn't have any copyright. Okay, so here's the thing. Hebrews 11:1. Now faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. Oh, these are all normal English for a change. Now faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. And the web version, the World English version, I'm going to read it out aloud quickly here, so that it's like more like very normal English. It says, now faith is assurance of things hoped for, proof of things not seen. Now faith is assurance of things hoped for, proof of things not seen. So think of it this way. When you plant an apple seed, you expect the plant, and by the way, I have a little cut, that's why I have a little Band-Aid in here. I figured that I have to explain it, why I have a Band-Aid randomly on my finger. So when you plant an apple seed, you don't expect when the, you know, first one, it's a little plant and then grows as a tree, and then you wait for the fruit to come out. You don't expect that when the tree comes out, it'll be the orange fruit, right? You expect that it'll be apple. There is this universal faith, or whatever you want to call it, as trust, belief, whatever, that the apple seed is going to produce an apple tree. The apple seed is not going to produce an orange tree, right? So that is what I took it from this verse, is that when you pray for something from God and you fully believe it, you don't see it yet, you fully believe it, and then it becomes true, right? So even in my life right now, you know, a lot of things as I went through in my life, and I prayed for it, and I deeply believed, and it came true. It came true. And that is, and sometimes we as human being, as the flesh part, right, we want sometimes like, okay, God, show me this, show me that, like, you know, for a sign. And it is because not that our faith is not strong enough. Yesterday, actually, on that front, that yes, you believe, but sometime at the same time, you kind of think like the voice that I'm hearing, or the nudge that I have, is it really God, or is it my flesh part talking, right? In my concept, you guys know I talk about inner critic and inner coach, and from Christianity perspective, you can think of the inner coach as the Holy Spirit. So how do you know that it's the Holy Spirit talking, not the inner critic talking, right? Giving you this idea. So yesterday, or I don't know, it was this morning, I kind of randomly was looking at a YouTube short, and I think it was, yeah, yesterday. So somebody said that the story of Gideon, which I don't know in detail. I know the story, but there could be other deeper meanings. But I thought it was so amazing how he said is that when Gideon asked for some proof where I think you see wet on the dry land and things like that. It's not that Gideon is not believing God, but that is more of like okay, that says that impossible thing that happened, that wet on the dry land, is that okay, that is the Holy Spirit talking, not the inner critic talking. So I thought that was a really wonderful way to kind of put it in perspective, right? So sometimes when we ask God for signs, it's not a bad thing. It's not that we are not believing, but we are kind of making sure that it is it's God's step for us to take rather than our inner critic. So now I'm going to tell you how this happens for me, and today what happened. And this is like little things that like blows my mind. That's one of the reason I started doing these videos, because and some of it may or may not fully resonate with you. And if you're a Christian, some of this might resonate with you more, because there's a concept of talking to God and being in a relationship with God, loving God, that at least in my knowledge is only in Christianity. I have been Hindu for all my life. I followed Buddhism for a little bit very deeply, and then I came to Christianity. So at least these three I know. The relationship with God and the loving God concept is only in Christianity. So you have this thing that where you feel like this is your nudge from God, right? And when it keeps happening over and over this in a similar context, then you know how God speaks to you, because for different people, God speaks to them differently, because and I don't know why and what. But here's the thing. So this video you guys will watch tomorrow, which is 11/2, November 2nd, but I'm filming today, Saturday. It's 11/1, November 1st. So because my schedule is busy with a lot of different things, the meetup, YouTube, book writing, public speaking, and so many other things. So these videos sometimes, a lot of time, I film them in advance. So I'm filming it today for tomorrow. And I actually planned it, I don't know, about a month ago maybe. When did I can tell you actually when I planned, because it's on my email. When I planned, I kind of saved it in my email. September 26th, look at this, September 26th. So it's about, oh my God, over a month ago I planned, right? And you will know why I am so excited and what I'm talking to. So I have been thinking about filming this episode, the Hebrews 11:1 for Appleseed, and some of you guys are probably already connecting the dots. And my schedule is getting busy with this and that and that. So this whole week I've been thinking I'm going to film this video, but I just didn't have the time. So this morning I was again thinking that I got to get to the book writing. Go get your tea or coffee. It's more fun when we're doing this together. Look at this Bible and the coffee here. Forgiveness. One of the episodes was in forgiveness, by the way, one of the early episodes in this coffee lounge talk. So anyway, I didn't have the time, and this morning the way, like right now it's around noon, so I'm like, if I start with the book writing, I have to make this video. And then I'm like, oh, let me start making the video, because book writing, once you get into it, it's kind of hard to come out of it and all that. So then I started looking at what I saved for which one is next that I'll be filming. Guess what? I see that it's Hebrews 11:1, and today is 11:1. I mean, really? And if it was one time, it was not going to be like a I won't be as excited, but this type of things keeps happening to me. Like God speaks to me in numbers. And here's the interesting part, folks. If you are Christian, some of these things will resonate with you, God speaking to you. And if you are not, and I this timeless stories of Bible, I tell you guys to explore. Again, you don't have to be Christian to explore this, but some people will think you're crazy. Let them. It's not their story. Everything is between you and God, right? Your audience is only one. That is God, right? All the people, all the external validations, and trust me, I used to know this because I was in a corporate for 21 years. I tried to, climb the ladders, and I did, and I looked for that external validations. And if somebody was like, oh, I'm not good enough in this, I would try to prove and, try to prove again. And trust me, and some of the people who even mentored me in corporate would say that, why are you trying to create, why are you proving yourself? You're good enough. And some of it probably comes from, I don't know, where I grew up in India, whatever. And a lot of people do that, right? The imposter syndrome or whatever, call it as. But then since last year, my friends, I live fully authentically. If somebody thinks that it is crazy, it is their version of the story, not mine. It doesn't bother me at all. Trust me. And it is so freeing. I can't tell you, when you can come out of that needing to prove it to somebody, anybody, your family, friends, whoever. You don't have to prove to anyone, not even to your kids, right? And that is an absolutely amazing place to be. And that is why I feel that I am grateful for all the events happened. Trust me, I wouldn't have chosen that because it was painful. It was so painful. I did not want to live on this earth. It was that painful. It was the absolute rock bottom 2 years ago. And it was November 2023, and this is November 2025. If somebody would have told me then, this is how my life would be unfolding, I would choose that. But there was no guarantee. There was no guarantee that this is what is going to happen, because I did not know for months. It took me a year. And a lot of people said that, because after a year I started helping other people. And a lot of people tell me, how did you do this so quickly? But guess what? The journey did not start a year ago. In life, I had so many times, different kind of setbacks, not marriage, but other kind of setbacks, losing job. I was on visa in this country in the beginning in 2008, when there was, how the market was. I lost my job. I was on visa. It was difficult to get a job. I almost had to go back to my country if I didn't find my job in 3 months, whatever. And then I found it at the very last minute. And 2018, I had a big health issue. I mean, these are the big ones, but there was a lot of other things that happened in life, starting from my childhood. I lost my dad when I was 6 years old. He had a natural death, but that has a bigger impact in my life, like how I was not giving up. I just kept going. I kept believing in something, and I know that, God was guiding every step and everything. He was preparing me for this moment. So again, going back to the story, if you're planting the apple seed, you got to believe that the tree that is going to grow, the apples are going to come out of that, not orange. You have to have this 100% belief. And sometime here and there you might doubt, and that is okay. And that's why you come back to, God's word, and that is going to give you that belief, that strength, that yes, it is going to happen. It is going to happen. And sometimes surrounding yourself with the people like that, who has belief in similar way, and that helps you to also stay grounded on those, right? Because we cannot produce that outcome, right? When they say this, right? When a farmer plants a seed of grain or whatever, there's a harvest season, and this is a perfect time to say it, right? It is still fall. When you plant a seed and when you harvest it, it's not the same time. There is a time of waiting period, right? You plant the seed, and then it becomes like the green shoots comes out of the dirt, and then you wait for it to grow, and eventually it comes out, and then you get the flower and the fruit. So there's this waiting period, and that sometimes could be challenging, but the farmer doesn't dig it out to see the seed, right? You have to wait and do the work. You have to water it. The sunlight has to reach, and that is what our our the praying, you can think of it's like a praying, taking the steps, taking the action steps, right? So from the seed to the fruit, you have to do those steps. If you stop watering the plant or it doesn't get the sunlight, the fruit is not going to come out, right? So these are the action steps you're going to have to take to ultimately harvest the fruit. So that is why it's like when I saw the number today, I was just blown away. I mean, my faith in God is growing by the day, and I feel blessed for that, because that is also God's work in me, right? Because you can deepen faith and there is no end to it, right? In one of the YouTube short a couple of weeks ago, I talked about this, that in Bible, some verse, because I don't have the verses memorized or anything, they say if your faith is a size of a mustard seed, you can move a mountain. Now imagine if your faith was like mountain, right? What could you move? What could you move? So there's always room for like deepening our faith. And what if our faith was, there was no limit, right? There's no limit, because God has no limit. It's not only the mountain. Grow your faith, right? So that's why, and again, for different people, it could be different. Because for me, here's the thing, when I was trying to read Bible in a very traditional way, I was not connecting. And I'll tell you, I was not connecting because I did not grow up here. So the words that we would connect when you hear it from somebody, or you were used to going to the church as you grew up or whatever, it's different. Also, there's a huge impact of culture. So half of my life I spent in India. I grew up in India. There was no exposure to Christianity or Bible or anything, because there was no internet even when I was growing up. So especially in my small town, even when internet came, I didn't get to it until I was in my college days. So anyway, so with that, for me, the traditional sense, I was not connecting, right? But to people who connected in a traditional way, to them, I'll be like, why? It all makes sense, because we all have very unique journeys. What I say is, we have 8 billion people on earth, 8 billion unique journey. No one person is going to understand the other person exactly fully the way God does, right? Like even in my own house, me and my daughter, same thing, we have a different perspective. Why? Because we have not lived the same life, right? And that's the beauty of it, that our own story is so unique, and only person, it's not really a person, only somebody who knows other than ourselves that each and every little bit of it is God, right? It is God. So anyway, and that's why I say that all faith welcome. See how it relates with you, and that's the fun part too. I love, like, when I do this episode, it's like it makes me go deeper even in my own life. Like, when was that I believed something so deeply and then it really did work? And sometimes I had this, like, question marks, a lot of question marks with my believing in a certain thing, and then it probably didn't work or things like that. So it's mind-blowing. And a lot of time I say this to the folks I coach, that try to look at the situations in your life. Those are going to be the best teachers, because every situation, if we look at it in a way that what is the lesson behind it? Excuse me, right? Excuse me. What is the lesson behind it? Then you start looking at it very differently. And now for you could, if you are not able to see the lesson, you could pray to God, whichever God you believe in, or the universe, the higher power, whatever your form of something that you believe that is beyond yourself, because only then you can get to that super conscious zone, right? You have heard of conscious mind, subconscious mind. I don't know if you have heard of super conscious, and that is where this part, the super conscious, is like the God, the universe, the higher power, all of that is connected to our subconscious. When you have belief in something bigger than yourself, only then you can unlock this higher potential, and you feel fearless, and all of that comes from that. So that is why it's important to believe something that is bigger than ourselves, right? That is a greater, whatever that is, whatever resonates with you. Because again, I read some research the other day that I think 70% at least, sometimes it could be 80%, we are influenced by our culture. So when you think of culture, if you grew up in a different country, let's say Vietnam or China or I don't know, India or Mexico versus here in the United States, the way you would look at 70% of it will be different because of the cultural background, because that's how our brains are shaped, right? So the cultural way, you would look at it differently. And I give this funny example, and I haven't experimented it with. And if you guys want to experiment it with, do it. It's going to be fun. So I had a yellow post-it, right? So I show it to different people, and then I'm like, okay, what does it remind you, right? So because I grew up in India, when I see the yellow, I think of turmeric, because turmeric is something that comes to my mind when I first see that yellow, even though I don't cook with turmeric anymore as often because I cook, all different cuisines. So anyway, but then I showed it to a friend who he goes for a walk a lot. So he said it makes him think of a sunrise. I'm like, that's a perspective I wouldn't think, right? And then somebody who is American, who grew up here and all of that, with that yellow color, they thought it reminds them of mustard. I mean, isn't it interesting? The same yellow, I'm thinking of turmeric, somebody's thinking of mustard, somebody's thinking of sunrise. How is this possible? It's the same yellow. That is the point. That is the point, that everybody will have a different story that they will connect with this same object, right? So for you, think of this Bible verses as the same thing. It's that object or the verse. How different people will connect could be different, but if this is how we can deepen our faith, I am able to, and I'm excited about it. So I hope you guys are able to also. So again, the planting and the harvest is not in the same season. You just got to remember that, and when you do that, my friends, it's going to be so beautiful, so beautiful. So if these videos help you, please do share it with others, and come back every Sunday for this type of videos. And if you want to see similar stories but not connected to the faith as much, watch my Wednesday night Wisdom Wednesday at 8 p.m. and every day at 12 p.m. I have quick 1 minute, under 1 minute shorts related to gratitude, one-day challenges that helps you to keep working on personal growth, and those are amazing. I myself also love them because I still practice some of those. And some are mindfulness related. And recently, from popular demand, I started making some of those videos. If separation or divorce is in your mind, or if you're in a struggling marriage, how you can find your way back to the marriage when you both of you were happy. I do touch that subject less because there are a lot of help there in counseling and therapists, because my work is not therapy. It's more future focused, how you can reimagine your future life in a way that you work on yourself, you reinvent yourself, right? And then if you show up in a relationship with your full version, the marriage may work, and having that open mind is necessary. The marriage may work. If not, you'll get to step 4, and if you don't know what the steps are, you can read the blog on my website that'll tell you what the steps are. I'm not going to go in detail here. The big thing here I'm trying to solve is where the step 3 to step 4, meaning people who are divorced already, and how they can find peace, how they can get out of that shame and guilt and get to this joy, peace, and self-love, my friend, because God showed me that, and I feel like I owe it to the world to show other people, to guide them from the darkness to the light, because God showed me that light, and it is so beautiful, my friend. So share it with others, and enjoy the rest of your day, and I'm going to see you guys later. Take care. Bye.